Okay.
Hi, I'm Sophie, a member with Behind the Scenes Day for Fashion Show, and today I'm here with Lexi, Senior Design. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Lexi. So I'm a senior going into apparel design at Iowa State. I'm from Des Moines, Iowa. I went to Lincoln High School. So I just, yeah. And so I've been
Awesome.
involved with a lot of different things here on campus, and I feel like I've gotten to know a lot of the different things around our major.
Awesome. That's so cool. So how were you involved in the fashion show? Like what positions have you held in the past? What was the interview process for that?
Yeah, so I started my freshman year. I got a position that I actually didn't even put on my application, which was gallery and display. I was a committee member for that, and I just got put onto that. And I really liked it. I had a great time learning all about visual merchandising, which was something I had like zero experience in. So it was kind of fun to learn about that. And then when it came around to next year's applications, I knew I wanted to go out for a director role, and just sitting just sitting in the audience watching the fashion show take place wasn't enough for me. I knew I wanted to be backstage, hands-on. I wanted to be like in the mix as much as possible. So I applied for modeling, which I also felt like was a good fit for me because I have experience with like dance and performance and stage and stuff like that. So a lot of modeling is choreography, stage presence, stuff like that. So I had kind of those aspects to bring to the table, as well as I do have experience modeling too. So it ended up being a super good fit, and I did that last year. So I was a modeling director for the show 2 years ago, and I really loved that, and I like had a great time making so many connections with all the different models and getting to know different people that are, because models can be from any other major at Iowa State. So it was cool getting to meet people that I normally wouldn't in my own major. And then so I liked it so much that I wanted to do it again. So I applied for it again for this year's show. And it was a really great experience. Also, I got to experience a lot because this year we had more garment submissions than we've ever had in the past. So we've had about 400 garment submissions and about 90 models, which is more than the fashion shows ever had. So it was really cool being able to be a part of all that, and just wish we would have been able to see it through till the end.
I know that sucks that it hasn't happened this year, but it's super cool that like you have a lot of those like different factors with that position. There's a lot that goes on. So is
For
there
sure.
something that like you were like the most proud of having this position? Like you did that or something like your favorite memory?
Yeah, for sure. So I loved being a part of the fashion show, being backstage and being with the models. But one goal all of last year that I was really working towards was I was like, I can't wait until I have my own stuff in the show and I have my own designs and I get to see models wearing those. So that was definitely a huge goal of mine, was I wanted to make and be able to submit as many things as possible into the show. And then when it came around this year, I had a bunch of things ready to submit that I was really proud of and excited about. So it felt really good to be able to try those and fit those on models and kind of take pictures in them and get to see them. But I wish I would have got to see them once again walking down the runway. But still, it was cool to be able to even start the process and submit my own things.
Awesome. So I know you've had some experience with design, like you said, like submissions within the fashion show, but didn't you also study abroad and design something there if you would like to talk on your experience with that?
Yeah, for sure. So I last summer studied abroad at London College of Fashion, and it was the best experience. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I knew like since probably freshman year that I definitely wanted to study abroad. I just had seen pictures of past students doing it, and I thought it looked so fun and awesome. And then I started to really research more into the different programs offered through Iowa State, and the London College of Fashion program really spoke to me just because they offer a styling course, which at the time they didn't offer at Iowa State. They do now, I think, for like a 1 credit
Mm-hmm.
class or something. But at the time they didn't. So I really was super interested in styling. Plus, of course, I wanted to get better at my design skills and my illustrating skills. So I did that, and we had to take a couple different classes. I took like a studio design class to build my collection and portfolio, which I feel like going in, I had like very minimal drawing skills. I wasn't confident at all in my illustrating. And then by the time I left, now I feel like a complete 180. I've learned so much and improved so much just as far as illustrating and conceptualizing and just really like going through the design process in a different way that we don't really learn about too much at Iowa State. So that was super cool. And then one kind of fun, challenging class we had was a hat making class. So I ended up, that's the only thing I ended up physically making besides putting together like boards and illustrations and stuff, was I physically made a hat, which I've never done, never even thought about doing before. So it was really cool to experiment with that. And I really ended up loving what I made. So I did enter that to be submitted in the fashion show this year too. So it was cool to be able to bring that experience back to Iowa State too.
That's awesome. So I know that you were talking about the hat, and that was featured in Trend, which is a fashion magazine here on campus. I know that you've been a director for a couple years for the fashion show, or for the magazine. Would you like to speak on that?
Yeah, for sure. So Trend is another one of my passions here at Iowa State. I started when I was a freshman, my first semester. It was like, I knew I wanted to be a part of Trend. I've heard of it and it just looks so cool. I couldn't wait to be a part of it. I started as a committee member for the fashion editorial. So something kind of different, doing like the more writing side of it, but I do have a minor in journalism. So I do have like experience with writing and I really like writing. So that was a really fun experience. And then once it came time for the next semester, I knew I wanted to apply to have a director position again. So I started from then on going more into the fashion part of Trend, so styling for the shoots and stuff. And then that's when I really realized that, yes, I love styling. This is 100% what I want to do. Just being in the heat of the moment with like the photo shoots and the day of shoot, everything coming together with the models and clothing. It's just my favorite thing ever. So I loved doing that. And ever since then, I've always gone out for the fashion position. So I've done like accessories, fashion forecasting. I did online last semester, which is the issue that had my hat featured in it, which was pretty exciting. We didn't really plan that. We were just wanting to do like a black and white issue. And then I was like, wait, I have the most dramatic black and white hat we can use. So that was kind of cool too, because then I can use those pictures for my portfolio and stuff later on. But online was a really fun experience because there was only like a team of 4 of us, and we were in charge of putting together the whole online spread from well, we didn't do the actual writing, but the graphics, the styling, the planning the shoots. We had to do about like 2 or 3 shoots throughout the semester. So it was a little bit more responsibility than the other positions where you only have to do 1 shoot per semester. But I really wanted to challenge myself and kind of get myself prepared for if I wanted to be like EIC or apply for other positions within that. I feel like it was a really good learning experience and I had a great time with it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. The cover with your hat looks so cool. I think that's like one of my favorite Trend covers so far that I've seen. So you were talking about photo shoots. I was wondering like what has been your favorite styling moment or your favorite photo shoot that you've worked on, and maybe you can describe like what a director viewpoint, like helping the committee during that time, like how long the photo shoots are, what are the challenges, and like how do you overcome those?
Yeah, for sure. So for Trend, it's always kind of the same uniform thing where us directors, there's usually a team of about 2 or 3 different directors for each committee. And we are in charge of having a committee anywhere from usually like 5 to 15 committee members. And each week we meet and we plan out all the different aspects of the photo shoot we want to pull off. So from location to styling, picking out models, hair and makeup, picking out poses. It's really fun because we get to have complete creativity, free range to do whatever we want with all those things. So it's really different, whereas in school you kind of have more guidelines. But one reason I just really love Trend is because we can really just be as creative as we want and kind of do things we can't really do in a classroom. So I really love doing that. And then another cool connection I had was this summer when I was in London, we had a styling class like I was talking about, and the like main project for the end of the semester was we had to do a styling shoot. So basically the same thing I do in Trend, but it had to be done in London, and we had to find our own photographer, our own location, our own hair and makeup team, our own models, like in London that we've never been in before. So it was like, that was probably the most challenging thing I've really ever had to do, because I just really had to go out of my comfort zone to find this whole creative team that worked well with me, and then be able to actually execute it and pull it off was a super big accomplishment. And then I feel like that showed to me also, if I can do it in London, then I can do it in anywhere. And it was really cool having that experience from Trend to be able to bring international and bring to that class, because my group mates or even other people that I had worked with had never done a photo shoot or anything like that before. So they were like especially freaking out. And I was like, I've got this. I do this every semester. It's fine. I just don't really normally do it in London with people I don't know. But it was really cool to be able to have that experience and to actually know what I was doing in that perspective.
That's so cool. I didn't even know that happened. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it was super fun actually.
So I guess like the term executive member of Trend as a director, like of the photo shoot, can be daunting for some people. So I was wondering if you could talk about how you got that position, like what the interview process is, like how you come up with your themes for the photo shoot.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that to be a director, you have to be like a senior or you have to be in design or something. I was a director ever since I was a freshman. I just knew as a committee member that I had more capabilities to like bring forward and bring to the table than I was really given. So I really wanted to be able to be a director so I could have my own creative input and have my own ideas. So that's why I knew I wanted to apply for it. And the application process was super easy. I know it seems pretty intimidating, but it's literally just a thing that you have to fill out. And then what's more important than the actual application is the interview. So the interview is usually always just held at Starbucks, and it's about 10 minutes per person, and it's the current editor-in-chiefs that will be interviewing you. So they're people your age, your peers, and just asking questions, getting to know you. I usually bring a couple different mood boards just to show what I'm capable of, what my personal style is, and stuff like that. And so I was super scared and intimidated at first, but then after I got it over, I was like, oh my gosh, that was the easiest thing ever. And then ever since I was a director, I knew I could never do anything else, because I just loved having my own input and actually being able to see something through from beginning to end. And also leading a committee, I just really enjoy being in leadership positions because I feel like I have a lot to offer and be able to help like younger students. So that was really fun too.
Yeah, no, I bet it's like super cool to see like an idea like turn into a physical like magazine at the like release party.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
Cool.
And I always try and within my committees make sure that the committee members have their own ideas that they can see actually in the final product too. But when you are a director, it's definitely more on your shoulders, more your responsibility to like actually figure out more of the details than just being a committee member. So that's the part that I really wanted to do too.
No, that's super cool. So you've talked about kind of journalism and fashion magazines, and I know you had an internship this summer. If you want to talk on that, I think it's somewhat related to that.
Yeah, it definitely is. I've always loved fashion magazines, literally ever since I was younger. So when I went to go pick out what internship I wanted to do, just because of course it's required to do an internship to graduate, I really wanted to make sure that I picked one that could like potentially lead straight into a career, or at least was in the field of the career that I want to go into, just so I can have that experience before actually having to start applying for jobs. So I went and met with my advisor, Anne, and she really helped me. She was so good at going through like, well, what are you really interested in? What are you not interested in? And then it ended up being that an internship at Esquire was the one that I like really wanted. So it's a fashion closet intern, which would be I get to basically just organize the fashion closet, all the designer clothes that are held there for like the different photo shoots, making sure those are all organized and steamed and stuff, which if you know me, you know I love to organize, so that was perfect for me. And then I talked to the girl that did it before me, and she was saying that her boss would occasionally take her on to go to different shoot sites and be able to do more research projects and hands-on stuff with the actual magazine shoots, which I thought sounded like a dream come true to me, of course, because I love styling, I love being on set for the different shoots and stuff. So I feel like that would be perfect for me. And she was saying that during the shoots, her job would be to like run around and make sure that like everything's lined up, ready to go, that everything's organized, and the models know what they should be doing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's already what I do for trend anyways, so I would be perfect at that. And so yeah, so I applied for that, and I was in talks for a couple months, and then it ended up being that I got offered a position to intern with Esquire, and I was so excited, and I still am, still waiting to hear if that's going to happen or not. But either way, I hope that I can still make it to New York and go intern with them, even if it doesn't end up being this summer. But
Right. That's so cool. And like, I think people hear like Esquire and it's a huge name, obviously, but like you said, you've already been doing this for years, whether that's with trend and even fashion show your position. You had to organize the models, the clothes, you know, make sure everything looks fine, presentable on the runway. So it's like kind of cool to see how everything works out, you know, with
right. And I think it was also super cool during even my phone interview with Esquire to be able to talk about trend and talk about the fact that I did a styling shoot in London, the fact that I've organized models backstage for the fashion show, like you're saying, all those different things that I was able to do at Iowa State. It's super cool to be able to apply to an actual job and say, I've had experience doing these things. And I can relate it to this in this way and this way.
Yeah, so. No, that's awesome. And I know you were talking about like having a conversation about with your advisor, and would you say like that's a good idea to just get on a basis with your advisor, establish goals, like what you want to do throughout your college experience?
Yeah, for sure. One thing I love about Iowa State and our program is the advisors in it. I feel like they're so invested. They get to know you so well. Well, my advisor is actually Sarah Bennett, but Anne does more of the internships, so that's why I went to go see her about specifically internships. But Sarah, I feel like, and Anne, I've gotten to know all 4 years. They like pretty much know me. They know what I've done with trend and with the fashion show. So when I do go to apply for internships and stuff, it's super cool to be able to sit down with them, and they can really cater that to my own experience and my own interests just based on the relationships that we've built this like whole time. And I feel like they did that with all the students. They really get to know you and can really help you find exactly what you're looking for out of an internship based on your goals and stuff like that.
Right, no,
so
I think
that's definitely the first step. I would make a meeting with them.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. I remember my advisor is also Sarah Bennett, and like just working with her for the fashion show and everything, like you said, they really get to know you. And like I was like philanthropy, and she'd be like, "Hi, Sophie," like, you know. So it's just super cool to have that personal connection with such a big school. So that's awesome.
Right. And Anne does have so many connections when it comes to internships, which is what's like a really nice advantage. And one thing that definitely persuaded me to want to intern with Esquire was that she let me know that Iowa State, there's something happened a couple years back, I don't know, but they closed off their internships that only like a certain amount of schools are allowed to intern with them. And there's only like, I think she said 5 or so schools in the country that can intern with like Hearst magazines, and Iowa State's one of them. So to have those connections and have that opportunity is something that like I just couldn't pass up.
Yeah, no, that's so cool. That's like something that sets Iowa State apart, I feel like, from all the other universities, which is a super cool opportunity within our major. So
yeah, for sure.
Is there anything else that you'd like to speak on, your experiences here at Iowa State?
I guess I just have, maybe for anyone watching this, a little advice would just be to go out for any extracurricular, any opportunities that are presented to you, even if they seem like kind of not something you would normally do. Go out of your comfort zone. I feel like I've experienced a lot here at Iowa State. I've done tons of different things. Like I was a CA last year randomly, and it was just like kind of a situation where the opportunity presented itself, but I ended up learning so much, and so much of it I'm able to apply to real life job skills and stuff like that. So even if it's not fashion related or whatever, just go out for things and really try and get involved, because you can end up being able to talk on those experiences and use them when you go to do internships and apply for jobs. And I feel like that was just one really key thing that has helped me a lot throughout my college experience.
No, that's awesome. Thank you for taking your time. I feel like this is very helpful advice. So thank you.
For sure. Yeah, thank you.